the universe, and we're going to talk about Mars in Taurus. Okay, so as you already know, I go by the stars, not really by the sign. So if you don't know where your placements are, or if you're looking at someone's placement, go ahead and pause and look up what exactly degree that this person's Mars is that you're looking at. Okay, so the first 13 and a half degrees of Taurus is a star called Buddani. This star endows people with a lot of beauty. When you think of the sexy Taurus that's so famous, right? So like that early May Taurus, right? They are this star of Buddani. I want to say, like, if your sun is in Buddani, if your sun is in that first star of Taurus, I want to say it's like from late April all the way to like May 12th, something like that. But anyway, yeah, this is a very sexy star. This endows people with a lot of knowledge in the arts. It endows people with a lot of a lot of pioneering ways. So these people a lot of times are the oldest of their siblings, or they're just the most successful of their siblings. Mars loves to be in this star. Mars is really, really, really good in this star. He really likes this star. So this endows someone with a lot of passion and a lot of fervor, a lot of endurance. These people are very hard on themselves, like physically, but they can handle all of that high pressure that they're putting themselves under, because this star, as beautiful as it is, this star can actually kind of be a little bit like obsessive compulsive, especially with like performance. So these people will be in the arts and they'll strive to be like the perfect performer. So for example, Mariah Carey has her ascendant in this first 13 degrees of Taurus. And like I said, it gives you great beauty, and it gives you this passion for the arts, to where you feel like you have to be perfect and push yourself to perfection. Christina Aguilera's moon is in this part of Taurus. Again, it makes you very beautiful, but it makes you strive for greatness. And so, that's what you get. You get a lot of very strong people who really push their bodies to perfection or to greatness. This star is also quite violent. So there's a lot of men with this placement, or with their sun, moon, and rising in this placement, and you'll see a lot of them in the military. A lot of them it's just a very violent star. So, and this star, as beautiful as it is, in ancient Hindu astrology, they call it an Ugra Nakshatra, which means that this is a placement good for doing like terrible things, like be in war. You could even be like a butcher more commonly. You could be, I know someone whose Mars is in Buddani, and he is a surgeon. He deals with blood and death all the time. And actually, in ancient astrology, ancient Indian astrology, Hindu astrology, the god Yama rules over this star, and Yama is the righteous god of death. So you see a lot of these people are actually very good with death. They deal with very dangerous things. They can do very, very dangerous things. I know someone with this placement in my personal life. He's a client of mine, and he is a pilot. You know, pilots is technically a dangerous profession. My brother is a trucker, and all the time he'll drive up way north of the country to where he drives in the mountains and it's icy, and you know all those scary videos you see of 18-wheelers like driving through the mountains and shit. Like, that's what my brother does, and he has this exact placement. He has his Mars in Buttony, which is the first 13 degrees of Taurus. What's his name? The Witcher, Henry Cavill. He has this same placement. So he played Superman. Now he's the Witcher, which is some type of warrior. So like I said, this star makes you very beautiful, but also makes you very creative, very artistic. It also makes you very good with violence, very good with death. So you get a lot of people who are in the military here. My grandfather had his son in Buttony, and he was in the military. I guarantee you, so many people born in early May were in the military. And if they weren't in the military, they definitely are someone with like high degree of discipline or respect or some type of like that in the community, where they just very respected. They're very beautiful. The women are very hippie and curvy, very voluptuous, soft and curvy, stuff like that. Salma Hayek, I think either her ascendant or her moon is in Buttony, this part of Taurus. I know her her sun is in Porva Falguni, which is a star in Virgo, and that also is ruled by Venus. So both of those stars are ruled by Venus. So Salma Hayek is double Venus, which makes you like incredibly sexy. Yeah, moving on. I could go more and more about Buttony. Oh, they're also very philosophical too. That I learned recently through the astrologer Claire Nocti. I also learned recently that they're very, very, very philosophical people, which I do tend to agree, because my grandfather has the same placement, and he went to seminary school, like Bible school, which is philosophical. And then I had the one person I know who actually did major in philosophy. He has his sun in these first 13 degrees of Taurus. So, anyway, moving on. 13 degrees to like 27 degrees, that little area is called Kritika. Right? Yeah. Kritika. Kritika is Pleiades. I can't. It's a what's it called? A cluster star. A cluster star is when you get a bunch of different stars that are kind of naked to the eye, but they're so close together that all of the brilliance of all those stars together kind of form one visible star from our naked eye. And so this is a star called Kritika. And there's so much. I was looking at this star today. There's so much mythology here. Like, there's mythology from ancient Greece associated with this star. There's mythology from ancient India, Hindu astrology, the Hindu religion that relates to this star. So this this star Kritika, which is in Taurus, is very handsome and very manly. So a lot of these people, especially the men with their Mars in this part of Taurus, they're very masculine. They are hairy. They have like broad chests. They're very much desired by a lot of women, and that's because these men are this is a very masculine side of Taurus. The very sexy part of Taurus, which is that early May part, that honestly is very feminine. That's why those guys are so cute and those girls are so like beautiful. It's because Venus is ruling over that star, so it's very feminine. But this star Kritika, it's very solar, so it's very masculine. So these people aren't like beautiful, like beautiful in a feminine way. They're still beautiful, but they're beautiful in a very masculine way. Even the women, when women have their Mars in this part of Taurus called Kritika, that's 13 to 27 degrees, they're very beautiful as well, because Taurus rules the face. And so these women do have beautiful faces, but because it's a masculine star, these women are kind of like kind of masculine. They kind of like stomp around. They're kind of like heavier. They, you know, they're very self-possessed and they're very beautiful. It is Taurus, but at the same time, they're just like they're independent. They're not really clingy people. They're super strong physically. Yeah. So as far as like relationships go, I rarely have seen a lot of Kritika people to kind of like settle down. It's not because they're immature or anything like this. It's just that it really is in their nature to be like highly independent. And if they are going to be with someone, they need to be with someone who's like very respecting of their personal space and their personal growth. Because these people are not lunar people. People with Mars in Kritika, 13 to 27 degrees Taurus. These people are not feminine, clingy people. These are masculine, independent people. So that's why they kind of suffer with relationships a bit. But they're very beautiful. The women have very beautiful faces, and the men have sexy, like hairy, manly bodies. So what's interesting is this star in Jyotish, which is ancient Hindu astrology, this star is masculine, and the next star in Taurus is Rohini. And so Rohini is female. So Kritika is male. The next star in Taurus is Rohini. Rohini is female. And so in ancient times, Rohini was actually called follower because it followed Kritika. So it's interesting because you know, in the historical patriarchal society, like the women follows the man. So it's interesting that this female Rohini star was historically called the follower because it always follows Kritika, which is known as a masculine star. I'm not saying I support that, or that's bad to be like a follower. I'm not like, what am I trying to say? I'm not trying to be like chauvinistic, but I'm just saying that I think it's interesting. Again, I was watching an astrology video, and this lady was pointing out that Kritika is kind of the cosmic Adam, whereas Rohini is the cosmic Eve. And so that information kind of coincides with the other historical information that Rohini is female, and they call it the follower star because it follows Kritika, which is a star within Taurus, which is a very masculine star. Anyway, moving on. And so, like I said, the last star that we're going to talk about, last few degrees of Taurus, is called Rohini. Rohini is a big star. Rohini is actually a giant star. And so, people with Mars in this part of Taurus, they're very beautiful. They're very like fleshy. So they'll have thick thighs or a thick booty. But honestly, it kind of expands this big star Rohini. It kind of expands whatever it touches. And Mars is your sexuality. You know, Mars is like the genitals, right? Because Scorpio rules genitals. So Mars is very sexual. And so when it's dealing with Rohini, which is very expansive, this can give you, honestly, a big dick. It can give you big breasts. It can give you, like, big hips, big thighs. A lot of the women with Mars in this last part of Taurus and Rohini, a very feminine star. These women will be like extra fleshy. Like these women will be kind of chunky. And not in like an unhealthy way, but more in like an abundant, juicy way. This is a very juicy star, and that's why like women are like big bone when they have this placement, or the men will have a big dick, or they'll be really tall when they have this placement. And this is a very strong placement, and Rohini, this is where the bull comes in, like the strong, stubborn bull, because these people are really good in business. These people love money. This is Venus, right? This is Taurus. So these people love money. These people are so sensual. These people love sex, like they're horny, they're hornballs. And these people like to be lazy. So this is a very opposite of the previous Kritika star. Kritika people are very active. They like to do things. They go out. But Rohini can be very introverted. And if they do go out, I see that they go out with like their partner, and then that's it. So, or they're only kind of chilling with their partner and their family, really. All right, guys, that was like way too long. Oh yeah, 16 minutes, that's enough. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.